Adediro reports that he was given an update on the seizure early last month of 661 pump-action rifles.
The plaintiff, Muhammad Ibrahim, in an originating summons, is seeking a determination of the court as to whether the appointment of the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service by the President, having been made pursuant to Sections 5 and 171 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, can be subjected to the provisions of the Customs and Excise Management Act or any other law, and as to whether the power and functions of the Controller General of Customs can be exercised without the first defendant wearing the uniform, and whether in view of Section 88, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution, the Senate or National Assembly can summon the first defendant, that is, the Controller General of Customs, having not published a resolution to that effect in his journal or official gazette. The Controller General of Customs therefore says, in view of this new development, his appearance before the Senate may have to be put on hold pending determination of the suit.
Until the court makes pronouncement, the situation should remain as it is.
On the recently seized 661 pump-action rifles in Lagos, the Controller General says the Nigerian Customs Services has finished investigation into the criminal aspect of the matter and handed the security aspect to the Directorate of Security Services, which has forwarded same to the Office of the National Security Advisor for necessary action.
Because we have arrested the importer. We have also arrested the clearing agent. So we have profiled the importer. He has brought in other containers prior to this. That the security investigation will now reveal the destination of those containers. Where has he lodged them? Who took charge of them? What were the content of those containers?
He, however, sounded a note of warning that the service will deal accordingly with errant staff, particularly those who connive with smugglers and importers to shortchange the system.
Advanced economies ensure that no sources of revenue is left untapped. And in the case of importation of vehicles into Nigeria, all the Controller General of Customs, Alhaji Hamid Ali, is saying is that it is part of your civic responsibility to ensure that you pay customs duty on vehicles imported into the country. From the Customs Headquarters, Abuja, Abdul Fattah Adedino, NTA News.
The Federal Executive Council has approved various contracts aimed at enhancing the development of critical infrastructure across Nigeria for socio-economic prosperity. These are essential arteries for development. Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, and his FCT counterpart, Mohammed Musa Bello, gave the details of the approvals at a media briefing after the council's meeting in Abuja. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the meeting of the council, which considered and approved the various infrastructure development projects aimed at stimulating the nation's economy. Consequently, apart from the construction of 12 roads and bridges in 10 states of the Federation at about 80 billion naira, the council also granted approval for engineering and consultancy design for access roads linking Asaba in Delta State as well as Onisha in Anambra State to the second Niger Bridge project. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, who gave the details on the contracts award, said a recovery program for the power sector has also been approved.
It's a program that comprises many PEP policy actions, operational and financial interventions that need to be carried out by government to improve transparency, service delivery, in order to create a more viable power sector that is private sector run.
The program, he explained, is aimed at, among others, ensuring expansion and stability of the grid, making discourse viable, accountable, and responsive to power consumers, as well as solving the Niger Delta problem.
How to address also and resolve completely the vandalization of assets at consumer level and at production level of pipelines, gas pipelines, and so on and so forth. Of course, this would help to stimulate the appetite that currently exists globally for Nigeria's power sector.
On his part, the Minister of FCT, Muhammad Musa Bello, secured the Council's approval for the award of contract for the second phase of Abuja Rail Mass Transit System under Lot 1B.
Lot 1B is about 27 kilometers and is going to start from Ring Road 1 in the city center, passing through Area 10, through Wuse Market, Bega Junction, Jabi Motor Park, through the live camp to terminate at the Gwagwa station. Already, as you know, Lot 3 has already been completed. We also gave approval today for the rolling stocks. That's the coaches that will be used on the system. 12 sets will be procured to be used on that line. But we have realized the need to expand the rail from Bazango station right into Kubwa, to go to the station at Kubwa. That way, the whole intention is for it to be able to carry the traffic that comes into Abuja from the Kubwa axis. That extension is 5.7 kilometers, and we got council approval for today.
$1.7 billion will be expended on the project to be funded by the China Exim Bank as part of the benefits being derived by Nigeria following the improved bilateral relations with the People's Republic of China.
The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, met in Abuja to assess the development of performance of its 60-day National Action Plan. Here is State House correspondent Jide Onifade with the details.
Starting from 21st of February 2017, date of approval, to April 21st, 2017, the 60-day National Action Plan is aimed to implement a series of quick means that will make it progressively easier for small and medium enterprises in Nigeria to do business and thrive. It is now 30 days halfway into implementation, and some of the achievements include success in the process of starting a business, trading across borders, entry and exit of people, and dealing with construction permits and registering property.
Taking stock, we've scoped a number of reforms that need to be done in the quick short term to make sure that Nigerian businesses are more comfortable. We're trying to save on cost and time and amount of documentation. We've also done quite a bit of work on transparency, websites of different MDAs to make sure that the processes, the procedures, the cost, and the people responsible are clearly laid out in a transparent manner.
Other reforms Nigerians should expect from the ministries, departments, agencies, and stakeholders include reduction of agencies at the ports, passing of priority bills on the ease of doing business, simplified visa on arrival process, and elimination of manual baggage searches at airport, among others.
It is very important for the efficiency of the immigration department. Is also very important in terms of security.
Those who are supposed to be paying tax, only 10% are paying tax. And therefore now we have increased our net, and all those who are supposed to pay tax must pay tax.
In other climes, sports is a serious business. Then why not in Nigeria? This was discussed when the Vice President had audience with some members of the Nigerian sports development.
We, the ex-internationals, have decided to lend a helping hand to the federal government to chart the best way forward for our youth, because obviously no government anywhere in the world can fund sports 100%. So we have taken the initiative to go to the private sectors to raise funds to implement in grassroots sports development the way it's done elsewhere in the world.
So part of what we now need to do is let every Nigerian put 200 naira into sports development. Then we would be able to see the multiplier impact of how many new children we can bring into sports.
Great idea. Now, in the world of an elder, to neglect the youth is to neglect the society and to destroy the future. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The House of Representatives at Wednesday's plenary dwelt on the need for government to revive the primary healthcare system of the country so as to ensure adequate healthcare delivery at the grassroots. The legislators also approved the request by the president for a $500 million euro bond for funding the 2016 budget deficit. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo takes it up from here.
The issue of improved healthcare facilities for Nigerians, especially rural dwellers, dominated deliberations on the floor of the House. This came in a motion moved by Representative Joseph Edjonwole.
Order. To ensure that Honorable Azubago function optimally.
Those that are there, but they have not been put to use, especially those constructed by the MDTs.
The primary healthcare centers are the only health centers closest to the people.
We have already made provision for this in the 2017 budget, and each and every one of us will see before the end of this budget year that primary health centers in our local government areas, in our various constituencies, are going to be touched.
Another motion for the House to investigate the ongoing industrial action by the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals was moved by Representative Yusuf Tajuddin from Kogi State. Still on health, members resolved to investigate the alleged harmful effect of Fanta, Sprite and other drinks produced and marketed in Nigeria, as moved by Representative Rotimi Agunsoye from Lagos State. A bill for an act to establish the Institute of Facilities Management, sponsored by Representative Austin Chukwukere from Imo State, was passed at second reading.
To regulate and control the practice of facilities, profession, and for other related matters.
The House finally approved the $500 euro bond requested by the President.
Just to augment the shortfalls that we have had in our revenue from the FRS, from the customs, and the NNPC.
A member from Benue State, Hassan Saleh, defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. The House also passed at first reading a bill for an act to amend the National Youth Service Corps, and that bill was among the 16 bills that were passed at first reading. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onkwo, NTA News.
And at today's Code of Conduct Bureau sitting, prosecution witness Samuel Madujemu admitted that the Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki had formally declared his assets, that of his wife Toyin Saraki, and his children. Aliyu Tukur reports that Samuel Madujemu is the head of the Intelligence and Investigations Unit of the Code of Conduct Bureau.
At the resumed trial on alleged false declaration of assets, prosecution witness Samuel Madujemu told the tribunal that the assets of Saraki were recorded in the asset forms he submitted to the Code of Conduct Bureau. The witness told the tribunal, led by Danladi Umar, that the investigation which led to the arraignment of the Senate President was actually carried out by the operatives of the EFCC. He admitted that his own role was limited to the review of the EFCC's report and that he only compared the asset form of Saraki and the findings of the EFCC. The witness also informed the tribunal that he was invited orally into the team that reviewed the EFCC's report and he only gave oral report. As such, the Bureau has no formal report of the investigation carried out.
The witness has more or less made it very, very clear that they truly don't have any case. And the last time I spoke with you, I asked you to expect a further amendment to the charge. Every time the case is damaged, they will amend and try to bring something else. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to use that same tactic again.
The defense, in day 4, they are able to conclude their cross-examination. So it's just for me to re-examine this witness. They are documentary. There's no cause for alarm.
After sitting for 2 straight days, the tribunal adjourned the case to the 5th of April for re-examination of the third witness by the prosecution counsel. In Abuja, Aliyu Tukur, NTA News.
And away from issues of litigation, it's 2 weeks after the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport was closed for reconstruction work on the runway. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says flight operations at the Kaduna Airport, serving as alternative, have so far been successful. The minister stated this in Kaduna. Anthony Forson has more on that.
The Information and Culture Minister, accompanied by journalists, had arrived at the Kaduna International Airport, which in the last 2 weeks has taken over the role of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in providing air transport services. Expressing satisfaction with the arrangements and level of compliance, the minister pointed out that routine shutdowns of an airport is not new.
We have done all that ought to be done within a very short time. There's no way you can replicate Abuja and Kaduna within the time frame. But if the objective is to ensure seamless, operation, if the objective is to ensure, minimum disruption to services, minimum disruption, minimum inconvenience, absolute, safety and security, I do not think we can do more than what we have done now.
On his part, the Minister of State for Aviation, who spoke on federal government's plans for airports across the country, said Nigerians must imbibe the culture of supporting government initiatives in executing projects that have direct bearings to the safety and well-being of the citizens, rather than criticizing its cost implication. He added that the Abuja airport requires a second runway.
Yes, there will be a second runway in Abuja. Hopefully within the next 24 months, we would have a new runway, my hope. And then there is a second runway in Kano, the military runway, the second runway in Lagos, the second runway in Port Harcourt, the military. So they have second runways. I think the focus of government now within the limited resources is to do a second runway in Abuja. The remaining one during the concession process, if we need additional runway, the man who will win the concession should be able to give us a second runway.
Security arrangement on the ground for passengers from here to Abuja is quite okay. I also discovered that the buses are escorted from here to the airport in Abuja. So I think the airport is okay.
Anthony Forson, NTA News.
You can watch these news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Up ahead, the body of the medical doctor who ended his life in the Lagos Lagoon recovered. The details when we return in just a moment. Stay with us.
God will damage you with blessings. The wisdom where God give you when you take the water, they find all these places where they sell better food. You know, even give Solomon wow.
Thank you, sir. I submit the formula for enjoyment. Well, pass every other apprentice for this place.
Yes, sir. If anybody see fish and say it go better for you, that person they blind though. Because yesterday, today, and your future now they chop so.
But now the food be this one. Nah, here is the place they give me 4 times waiting I buy.
Isaka,
I can explain, sir.
Hey, Isaka, come back here.
Introducing Glow Formula. Get 4 times your recharge to make local and international calls. Text and browse. To recharge, dial *323 *PIN# to enjoy 4 times.
Wow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Every visitor to Afe Babalola University, Abuja, since its establishment in 2010, has testified to its uniqueness.
This place will be comfortable for learning for any child.
And when I came here, I discovered it is a good place for my child to come.
I'm very comfortable that my daughter will come out in flying colors, properly refined and built to meet the aspirations of the modern day Nigeria.
If you have a kind of arrangement like this, and this is just the beginning, then I want to imagine when it is having its golden anniversary. I think it has a place to go.
The school has a very, very bright future.
I'm praying I'll be part of that future if my kid is here.
Afe Babalola University, the fastest growing educational institution in Africa.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth is in our people who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Go now! No mind the boy. I register am for computer school so that he go sabi use computer to write UTME exam. The boy can't play football.
Not hear your pikin here for nothing. To write UTME exam now, na selenkejo. You no need to sabi plenty computer. Just sabi damn special 8 keys wey dey on top computer. A, B, C, D for to take answer question. P for preview or back. N for next or forward. Double click S for submit. And arrow for return or reverse. And send or form. Not be 6 months again, no. Now only 1 month. From March 20 to April 19. No more scratch card, oh. Buy your pin at approved banks and waka go any approved JAMB CBT center for registration. Meanwhile, optional mock exam day for April 8 and the main exam will start from May 6, 2017.
You sabi any special Wuruguru center where I fit put my pikin so that even if he fail, he go pass?
Yes. Look, you better tell your pikin now to read well, because no wuru plus mago for jump again, no. If you no read well, you go fail.
This message is by Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
As part of the ongoing process of repositioning the Bank of Agriculture, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, has approved the appointment of an interim managing director and executive directors for the bank as follows: Kabiru Mohammed, interim managing director, Northwest; Prince A. Akenzwa, Executive Director, Corporate Finance, South-South; Dr. Okenwa Gabriel, Partnerships and Strategies, South-South; Ame Owoicho-E, Executive Director, Credit and Empowerment, North Central; Bode Abikwe, Executive Director, Credit and Empowerment, Southwest; Dr. Bukar Hassan, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
The new Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Great tasting new Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitarich Plus Iron. New great tasting Cowbell Choco, a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
My promise to my child: I am not your friend. I am your mother. I will stalk you, debate you, and hunt you down if I have to. Because when it comes to protecting you, there's no such thing as too tough. That's why every night, I insist on Baygon Multi-Insect Killer for tough mosquito protection before bedtime, so I know my loved ones can fall asleep protected. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
You're still watching NTA News Extra on the network service of the NTA with me, Fatima Abbas Hassan. The leader of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, says the legislative arm of the government will work hand in hand with the Buhari presidency to deliver on his promises to Nigerians. He said as a policy, the National Assembly, especially the Senate, will continue to engage in wide consultation with the executive on issues arising in order to arrive at an appropriate decision to the benefit of the people. The Senate leader, who spoke to State House correspondent Jide Onifade after a visit to the Vice President, was in company of his deputy, Bala Ibn Na'Allah.
This is democracy, and sometimes the legislature and the executive will disagree on certain issues. Sometimes they agree. But what is important is to ensure that we work in the interest of the country. And as a government dominated by APC, it behoves both the legislature and the executive to work together, consult as widely and deeply as possible all the time. And that's what we are trying to do. And I want to assure you and the general public that the National Assembly, and particularly the Senate, will always work with the executive arm of government in total support of Muhammadu Buhari administration to ensure that we deliver to Nigerians our campaign promises.
Now, on the political front, more drama continues to play out in the PDP leadership crisis as state chapters have been factionalized, with two separate groups claiming leadership in the states and the FCT. This is coming as the Governor Dixon National Reconciliation Committee of the party reaches out to the Ahmed Makarfi group with its recommendations for peace in the PDP. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba has that report.
In what started as a simple solidarity visit at the PDP National Secretariat, the National Chairman, Senator Alimadu Sharif, received a group of state chairmen of the PDP who threw their weight behind his leadership.
That we are reaffirming our stand.
Senator Sharif, who also received another delegation from Zamfara State, used the occasion to refute an insinuation that he is nursing a presidential ambition.
I've never in my life decided what I will do tomorrow. I leave things to God. I am not an ambitious person like.
At another venue, a group under the name Forum of State Chairmen of the PDP met and disowned the FCT chairman-led group.
Forum is not happy that many chapter chairmen of the party had their names, telephone numbers written as attendees and their signatures forged.
Meanwhile, the Governor Sareki Dixon Reconciliation Committee has officially presented its recommendations to the Makarfi Caretaker Committee. In the report, the committee suggested for a national unity convention.
If we have a convention committee that has 7 state governors, if we have 7 senators,
organs of the party study any proposal and accept it. The caretaker committee will be duty bound to accept it and participate in its implementation.
As all these consultations are going on, the Supreme Court has fixed Thursday, the 23rd of this month, as the likely date to begin hearing on the leadership tussle of the People's Democratic Party. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Now, the total review of Nigeria's constitution will serve as a bedrock for achieving change that will affect other sectors, including that of electoral system. This was part of submissions at the Constitutional Electoral Reform Committee as the Electoral Reform Committee concludes its zonal public hearing in Abeokuta for the Southwest Zone. Saliu Abdullahi reports that among the participants were the governors of Ogun, Lagos, Ondo, Osun, and Ekiti states.
Another convergence critical concerns who believe that the zone, like others, have so much to offer in harvesting quality contribution, restructuring the federal system of government to a parliamentary system, devolution of power to make the states take total control over their resources, as well as the call for a fiscal federalism dominates contributions.
I would like to dispel the negative notion that we have had too many electoral reforms and the government has not been implementing. Yes, to a very large extent, but this committee is charged with the responsibility of harmonizing all those electoral reform reports.
Governor of Ogun State, Ibikule Amoso, said the event is worthwhile as a clear demonstration of the Buhari administration to bring power back to the people. To support the process, he added that Ogun State has prepared a working document on electoral reforms.
Truly, I agree that yes, we should look into the way we are as a nation. Indeed, a system that doesn't reward us equally, a system that you need to know Mr. A or Mr. B or where you come from, will not be a good system. But I've always argued that whatever we are doing, we should make sure that something is sacrosanct, and that is the indivisibility of this nation.
Contributions from governors of Lagos, Ondo, Osun, and Ekiti states came through their representatives.
Contributions at this forum are not quite different from previous ones made across other geopolitical zones. The onus is now on the Constitution and Electoral Reform Committee to take a critical look at them to make sure they add value to the intention they have in promoting and strengthening the two policies of democracy and true federalism the country has been yearning for. In Ogun State, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
From Ogun State, we take you to Lagos, where after 3 days of search and rescue efforts, the body of a 35-year-old medical doctor, Olwell Oji, has been discovered from the Lagos Lagoon by the Marine Police. The deceased reportedly jumped into the lagoon from across the 3rd mainland bridge on Sunday evening. Before allegedly committing suicide, Olwell was being driven in his mother's car by a driver who was on his way from the church. The driver, who was key witness, disclosed that the late doctor received a phone call, chatted with the caller, ordered him to pull over by the side of the bridge, after which Oji took the ultimate dive. Efforts to recover his body finally paid off today at 4 in the afternoon. And joining me now from our Lagos Network Center is the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, Mr. Fatai Owosheni. Glad to have you on the news tonight.
Good evening.
Now, how are you treating this incident?
It's a suicide case, and with the recovery of the body, investigations still continues. We'd surely do what we call a coroner's inquest by taking the body through the process of examination and, of course, autopsy and all other facts, all other things, tools that we saw on the body before the recovery will also be examined technically, and at a point we'll be able to get a clue.
Okay, now, has the family of the deceased, been able to identify the body, given, what had happened yesterday? A body was recovered, and for some reason the mother said it was not her son. Have you been able to get the family to identify this body?
The late Dr. Oji's younger brother, Austin Oji, was with me at the police marine base this afternoon with the driver to positively identify the body, and they confirmed that's the body of Dr. Oji.
Now, there are reports that in the last, couple of days, another woman had attempted suicide too, but was rescued. Now, has this been brought to your knowledge?
We did a wider search within that area, including the hospitals within the area, with a view to confirming that story. But as of the moment, no one had come out as an eyewitness, or any hospital had come out to say that they have that woman in their hospital within that axis. And we are still hoping for any other information that we could get that will make us to confirm that story.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, Mr. Fatai Owosheni. We hope that as investigations go on, we will get to have more information on that. Now, moving away from the Lagos incident, excessive usage of chemicals such as pesticides and herbicides on crops and vegetables has over the time been responsible for the rejection of agricultural produce from Nigeria at the international commodity markets. In this report, agriculture correspondent Musa Baba Aliyu takes a look at the use of chemicals on agricultural produce and the implication on the health of consumers.
Farmers in the past relied on the use of organic farming techniques in cultivating their crops. Natural methods were used to control insect infestations, diseases, and also to improve yields. But with environmental challenges coupled with the high demand on food items due to population growth, the use of natural methods were replaced with chemicals. The use of chemicals therefore became popular among farmers due to requests for higher yield. Yusuf Ali, a vegetable farmer in Abuja, says it takes a longer time to control pests through the local system. So the use of chemicals became imperative, he says. In recent times, however, there have been concerns over the negative impact of pesticides on human health and the environment.
We have different types of control. We have the chemical control, we have cultural control, we have biological control. So the combination of this type of control methods is what we call integrated pest control. So armyworms may not be completely eradicated with only the use of pesticides.
Agronomists have therefore encouraged farmers, especially those cultivating vegetables, not to spray crops that are ready for market.
You just don't apply pesticide today and tomorrow you go and harvest or you go and consume that same vegetable. The label will tell you if you had applied this pesticide, you need to wait 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or 1 week. This period is to allow for the pesticide to biodegrade to a non-poison or non-toxic level.
Are Nigerians aware of the side effects of these chemicals on vegetables and how to treat them before consumption?
As you buy the vegetables, you just put them in a basin, sprinkle salt, enough salt in the water, and leave it there. After a while, you rinse it. As you bring it out, it is free from bacteria.
But this chemical, even though you wash it proper and put it in the fridge, after 3 days, you will discover that it started spoiling because of overdose the chemical that you are using.
If it is must to put Madam Footy very little, so that should not affect our people, because there is an ant. If you not use chemical to kill them, the vegetable is not going to grow well.
As the government is making efforts towards ensuring that food items to be exported are free from toxics, agriculturists are advocating same for consumables in Nigeria to protect the health of the people. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Musa. I'm now joined in the studio to discuss more on pesticides of vegetables by Mr. Obaje John Abba, Acting Director, Plant Quarantine Department, Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service. We're glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Nigerians.
Now, the use of chemicals to control pests and diseases has become part of the farming activity. Now, if that's the case, now what could be the impact of the chemicals on human health?
Use of agrochemicals is good,
okay,
but inappropriate use of it is very bad for human health, because the chemicals are formulated to target the nervous system of the pests. Okay. And if it's exposed, if man is exposed to it, destroy the internal organs, causing destruction, cancer, blindness, or whatever you can call it.
Now, okay, you said the use of pesticide is good.
It's
in
good.
What way?
Because it increases yield, production. It will help agri production, and that means you can have more yield to feed the population. That means poverty can be eradicated. People can earn more money for its use.
At what time and how the chemicals should be applied? Yes,
in the field, you can apply the chemical.
Okay.
But when you are harvesting, you don't need to apply the chemical, because your harvesting is already a quarter to it, isn't it? And in the table, if man is exposed to it, if you boil, the chemical will come to the surface, and if you take, it will injure human being.
Okay, yeah. But are there natural methods, of storing food items without necessarily applying chemicals?
Yes, there are. You can use earthenware, wooden ash. Dogoyaro, you can use the seed, mix it with pepper. Airtight situations. Use jute bag instead of nylon bags. The jute bags will prevent water or accumulation, leading to aflatoxin, resulting in mycotoxin, which are injurious to man.
Okay, now let's move a little bit away from storage and, the use of pesticides. What is the level of rejection of, agricultural produce from Nigeria by the European community markets?
Yes, because of the advocacy, since the of the public, NQS and other stakeholders have been mounting. The there's a reduction compared to where it was not, because so many people are going to agriculture now. And because of that, standards are being improved because of the campaign the NQS have been embarking on and other stakeholders.
So what is it that Nigeria is doing wrong that we're not getting, this acceptability in the national?
Yes, formally you may have to grow to, there's what they call good agricultural practices, resulting in good agronomic practices, land preparation, clean seeds, planting, good harvest method, good transportation method, good hygienic method. There are what they call SPS, standard and facilitating measures. Yeah. If you are producing to that, you have to meet the standard for international trade. And then the people who are buying, they have the facility to test. If you are transporting in the wrong manner, the crops will be injured or the consignment will be injured. Injury lead to infection.
Okay. Yeah. So how can we meet international standard when it comes to packaging, storing our food items for export? You
label properly.
Okay.
If you are in the consignment, if you have okra inside, do not say you are labeling it corn, because when they expose this, it is inappropriate. You have not done the right thing. So the name of the person, the consignment, the value, because you test for it, has to be appropriate, both the sender and the receiver.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to leave it there for now. Thank you for being in our studios. I've been speaking with the Acting Director, Plant Quarantine Department, Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service, Mr. Obaji Jonaba.
Thank you, Madam.
Moving on, a one-day stakeholders retreat on coordination of humanitarian service for post-conflict recovery in Yobe State was held in Damaturu, the state capital, with the theme Consolidating Humanitarian Recovery Plans. The retreat stressed the need for galvanizing local, national and global supports in addressing challenges in the post-insurgency period. Mustafa Yusuf Musa has that report.
After the years of Boko Haram terrorist activities in the northeast of region and Yobe State in particular, the need to reconstruct, resettle and rehabilitate thousands of internally displaced persons in the state has remained the major challenge to stakeholders. Toward this end, Yobe State government, through the State Committee on Resettlement and Rehabilitation of Internally Displaced Persons, organized a one-day retreat on coordination of humanitarian services for post-conflict recovery and reconstruction plans. Stakeholders from local, states, national, international, and non-governmental humanitarian organizations brainstorm on various issues affecting IDPs in the northeastern region. Yobe State Governor Ibrahim Gaidam, while declaring the program open, went down memory lane analyzing the situation before, during, and after the insurgency.
This important retreat of the major stakeholders is taking place at a time when focus or emphasis are now shifting from distribution of humanitarian relief to taking proactive steps towards full-scale resettlement of the internally displaced persons and reconstruction of the areas affected by the insurgency.
The chairman, Yobe State Committee on Resettlement and Rehabilitation of Internally Displaced Persons, who is also the State Deputy Governor, Engineer Bukar Aliu, said the committee has recorded successes in the task of providing assistance to IDPs and returnees in their communities.
Going by the agenda of the one-day retreat, speeches, and commitment of purpose by stakeholders, there is a general consensus among them that the need for a concerted effort toward tackling the matter at hand become necessary.
In Damaturu, I am Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
March 22nd every year is set aside by the United Nations to be observed as World Water Day, to focus attention on the importance of water and advocate for sustainable management of the resources. In this report, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday takes a look at the significance of this year's theme, which is waste water.
Research shows that water covers about 71% of Earth's surface, and 90% of the resources is salty, and about 3.5% of the water on Earth is fresh water that is potable, and 1/3 of this fresh water is underground. Water is believed to be fundamentally important to human survival and linked with the health of the environment and economy. It is often said that one can live 1 to 2 months without food.
But there's nobody that can survive for 72 hours without water.
Despite its importance, water analysts say over 80% of wastewater generated by the society is released back into the ecosystem without being reused or treated. And the wastewater not only harm and pollutes the environment, but poses health hazard to billions of people around the world.
At this point in time, our professionals and our planners must also begin to think of recycling wastewater back for domestic use, sometimes for agric use, and so on and so forth.
Nigeria presently has over 400 billion cubic meters of both surface and underground water. Many are surrounded by clean water, and it is readily available for their daily use, so much that they rarely pause to consider what life will be without it.
Anything that you have in abundance, so to speak, and is not well managed, then of course it might pose some disaster in the near future.
Apart from the fact that you will have managed to reuse, you will have also failed to manage the environment. But because every wastewater that flows out of its usage is a potential danger for epidemic.
Statistics indicate that there are over 663 million people living without a safe water supply and facing the health impact of using contaminated water. The theme of this year's celebration is in support of the Sustainable Development Goal 6.3 on improving water quality, treating and reusing of wastewater. Observers believe that effective wastewater management will improve lives and the environment, as well as make economic sense. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Many thanks, Adebola. Now, still to come, business news. Join us again.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby. And they bring too much sauce. Glow Mega Music Talk. It's gonna be a mad over your thing. You already know we are showstoppers. If you miss the store, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria.
Glow Mega Music Tour.
So watch out, because we dey come
out. Glow.
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 3,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour.
Glow Unlimited. Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain, fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
My promise to my child: I am not your friend. I am your mother. I will stalk you, debate you, and hunt you down if I have to. Because when it comes to protecting you, there's no such thing as too tough. That's why every night, I insist on Baygon Multi-Insect Killer for tough mosquito protection before bedtime, so I know my loved ones can fall asleep protected. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
With Happy Cover from Leadway Assurance, you'll be covered for, well, almost anything.
Boys, play nicely.
From automobile cover to house to personal cover.
Play nicely with your brother.
All with one single premium.
That's it, we're going home.
Get happy. SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back. SMS now. Live happy with Leadway Assurance. Ensuring happiness since 1970.
Hello?
Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6. Carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
Makes a Nigerian mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Nigerian moms use the power of Dettol's One Capful to protect their families. Be a powerful Nigerian mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament, which premieres live on the NTA Network this Thursday from 11 p.m. till 12 midnight. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
The federal government's zero reject policy for agricultural products at the global market received a boost as operators in the sector resolved to achieve acceptable standards and proper packaging in line with best practice. Amechi Payos has details on our business news segment.
Hello and thanks for being a part of Business News. For quite some time now, operators in the nation's agricultural sector have had to contend with poor packaging, handling and preservation. This has led to revenue loss and rejection of agricultural produce at the international markets. This capacity building forum is aimed at exposing farmers and other stakeholders in the entire value chain in the sector to logistics packaging for agricultural products, proper handling and labeling of products for exports.
We continue to build standards because standards change every day. Health things change. Technologies are developed and they affect you. So you must be abreast of what is happening. So it's a continuous process. It doesn't just stop now. We train them and we're now okay. No.
The government and also the associations, most public and the private sector, have to do more to encourage those private entrepreneurs.
Nigeria is a major producer of yam, cassava, groundnut, and maize in the world. And here are details of movement of stocks at the close of business on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today.
Market capitalization finished midweek at 8.82 trillion naira, while the all-share index closed at 25,000 naira. Investors purchased more than 178 million shares at 2.5 billion naira. Guinness led other gainers. It added 2 naira 66 kobo to its share price, while Nestle was the top loser with a 10 naira depreciation in its share price.
And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. Good evening.
Zenith Bank PLC has posted an impressive profit after tax of 119.29 billion naira for the 2016 financial year ended. And in appreciation of the invaluable shareholders, the bank has declared a 177 kobo dividend per 50 kobo share, in addition to the interim dividend of 25 kobo per share paid out earlier. Jane Ojukwu was at the 26th annual general meeting of the bank. And now reports.
A further breakdown of Zenith Bank's financial statement revealed a significant increase in all performance indices. Profit before tax recorded a 21.4% increase from 115.22 billion naira posted the previous year to a 139.93 billion naira. The bank's total deposit grew from 2.33 trillion naira in 2015 to 2.55 trillion naira for the 2016 year ended. As a group, Zenith Bank PLC also recorded an impressive performance. This feat, the management of the bank insists, could not have been possible without its highly entrenched sustainability principles and global best practices.
We've started on a very positive note. We'll continue to work very hard to ensure that we enhance shareholders' value, and we hope that with the support of our staff, our customers, that 2017 will be a good year for us.
Shareholders of the bank renewed their vote of confidence on the bank.
They gave us interim dividend sometime last year of 25 kobo. Additional to today's one, making 2 naira 2 kobo. I have to commend them.
What you want from them is that they should give us bonus.
The meeting also witnessed appointments of directors and auditors. Established in May 1990, Zenith Bank, its management says, has grown to become one of the leading and most profitable banks in Nigeria. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
The Nigeria Telecommunications Commission, NCC, says it will mop up all standard mobile phones which have not been approved for the Nigerian market as part of the strategy to fight phone-related crimes. The Executive Vice Chairman of the NCC, Professor Umar Ambata, who stated this in Port Harcourt at a workshop for law enforcement agencies in the South-South, also declared as illegal all SIM card registrations done under an umbrella or mobile vehicles. Kingsley Amajiri completes the report.
The workshop brought together security personnel from the Nigerian Police, Department for State Service (DSS), Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), and the Nigerian Customs in the South-South region of the country to review the NCC Enabling Act enforcement process and the need to protect telecommunication infrastructure. To regulate effectively, the NCC requires the support of the security agencies, given that the Enabling Act of 2003 and the Enforcement Regulations of 2005 confer the investigative and prosecutory rights on the security agencies. The Executive Vice Chairman, who was represented, noted that 2017 is a year for better service delivery for the consumers. Said to actualize this, there must be protection for telecommunication infrastructure and equipment with punishment of the offenders.
There are some phones that you use and then they become extremely hot and the rest of them. Those ones, if it pass through type approval process, we will know that that one will not pass. So those are substandard phones. There are some very good phones, but they are not type approved.
Head Legal and Regulatory Services, Mrs. Yetunde Akindoye, in her paper on the enforcement powers of NCC, and Salusi Abdul on enforcement process regulation, identified fraudulent SIM swap, illegal use of the spectrum, regulation gap, inconclusive investigation and prosecution, pre-registered SIMs, among others, are some of the challenges.
Under the Act, if you do not actually have a license, it is an offense to carry on telecom services without a license as provided by Section 31 of that Act. Also, we make and enforce such regulations as may be necessary to give full effect to the provisions of the Act.
In exercising this power, the Commission may demand the testing of communications equipment, may seal off or seize and detain in its custody or pending equipment for the purposes of possible prosecution in court.
There were calls for the overhaul of the regulations, core data record retrieval period from the operators, proper knowledge of customers, and logical conclusion of prosecution of offenders as a way forward towards effective regulation in the sector. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And arrangements have been concluded for the successful hosting of the third conference of the Association of African Maritime Administrations taking place in Abuja in April this year. The event, organized by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency in conjunction with the International Maritime Organization, is aimed at repositioning the Nigerian maritime sector and making Nigeria a global voice again. Ken Egbeluge has that report.
Is said to be out of the council at the International Maritime Organization IMO for over a decade, thus relegating the country at international politics in the maritime sector. The Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, told newsmen that the convergence of 32 heads of African Maritime Administration in Abuja in April 22nd for the 3rd Association of African Maritime Administration Conference will reposition the country to take the lead in the Committee of Maritime Nations.
Aside from the immediate benefits of hosting 32 maritime administrations in Africa and Nigeria, the multiplier effect will go a long way to enhance the chances of Nigeria's return to council at IMO at the Category C level.
One achievement of the agency in the last 1 year is the introduction of a professional and leadership series to grow the capacity of staff, thus developing a new work ethics in the agency. By this process, NIMASA is reforming the work ethics of its staff for better service delivery.
We have also introduced knowledge transfer sections to improve the internal capacity of our people to function in a rapidly globalizing world that is technologically driven.
Other achievements by the new management include the Coastal and Inland Shipping Act, known as the Cabotage Act, the implementation of a framework that will see more power devolve to the zones. Stakeholders in the maritime industry believed that the agency has moved away from the negative stories of corruption, inefficiency, and bottleneck to its regulatory functions. In Lagos, Ken Egbeluge, NTA News.
The Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has flagged off its National Industrial Skills Development Program in Benue, with 500 trainees benefiting from the scheme. Governor Samuel Otom, in his message, urged the trainees to give the training all the seriousness it deserves to spur industrial revolution in Benue State. Godwin Enalegu has that report.
A survey carried out by Industrial Training Fund, ITF, shows that there are existing vacancies in some sectors of the economy that are being filled by persons other than Nigerians because of lack of requisite technical skills. It is to address this challenge that the ITF conceived the National Industrial Skills Development Program, aimed at instilling skills in some youths to provoke economic recovery and growth.
The aim of this program is to allow trainees to have hands-on experience in different trades that are dominant in their state for a period of 3 months, after which such trainees will be developed, will be imparted with skills that can give them a world of work experience in life.
The governor, represented by the deputy, Benson Abono, expressed the commitment of government to create a conducive business environment for the youths by partnering with the Bank of Industry.
This administration is committed to enhancing economic and social inclusion, supporting unemployed youth in the informal sector.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the ITF and government for the initiative targeted at reducing poverty in the society.
To find a way forward so that at the end of the day we'll find something doing better than sitting at home not doing nothing.
I need to get knowledge of confectionery because it's also a part of event.
In their goodwill messages, stakeholders expressed their support to the program to ensure economic recovery and growth. In Makudi, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has extended condolences to the family of former General Officer commanding 2nd Infantry Division and 3rd Infantry Divisions of the Nigerian Army, late Major General Emmanuel Abisoye, who died at the age of 81. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari also commiserated with the government and people of Kogi State on the death of their illustrious son, who served as Federal Commissioner for Health, a member of the Supreme Military Council, who also headed a panel of inquiry in 2009 to resolve the conflict between Hausa Fulani indigents of Plateau State. The statement further adds that President Buhari, while enumerating Major General Abisoye's outstanding contributions to the unity and peace of the country, also remembered the sterling leadership qualities of the late general in promoting professionalism in the military, as well as securing Nigeria's borders and territorial integrity during the Civil War. In a similar development, President Muhammad Buhari has condemned Wednesday's terrorist attack near the United Kingdom Parliament building at Westminster's London. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that President Buhari, who sympathized with the British Prime Minister Theresa May, assured her that the government and people of Nigeria stand with Britons at this sad and trying moment in their country. According to the President, terror attack anywhere in the world is condemnable, adding that the whole world must join hands to defeat perpetrators of terrorism. He prayed that God Almighty will comfort the grieving families and heal the injured. You're still watching NTA News Extra. We'll take a short break now. There'll be more when we return. We'll see you then.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Makes a Niger mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's 1 capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's 1 capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Niger moms use the power of Dettol's 1 capsule to protect their families. Be a powerful Niger mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Are you looking for value or you're in search of nature and splendor all in one place? Here at China International Hotel, we define the very essence of life. Our environment offers added value in standard, attitude, and delivery. Our facilities include the very best of everything you can imagine. From a world-class event center to Echo's Restaurant, Wema Bar, Confluence Pool Bar, Pastry Lobby Shop, classy and valet services, IT Center, top-notch saloon, conference and banquet facilities, modern health center, and many more. We're located at Plot 224 Solomon Lao Way, Utako District, Abuja. For more information on your highly distinguished hotel services, call 081-007-18882 and 081-007-18883. Never say value until you've experienced the exquisiteness of Chida International Hotel. Chida International Hotel, preferred by many.
Yes, so no be only government go stop Lassa fever. Now everybody go put hands together to stop Lassa fever. We don't the years once more to say Lassa fever don't use style resurface for some part of this country them. But the Federal Ministry of Health say make you no panic. Now so they clean our house all the time. We chase rats come out, and if rats don't mood for our house, Lassa fever don't come out be that. Lassa fever get two symptoms. One are early stages where they bring fever, sore throats, vomiting, diarrhea, joint pain. The second stage in our bone now they cause bleeding from the nose, eyes, spectrum. It go even they make blood to the commode from private parts, even cause swelling genital. Make we stop to the shop rats. Anyway, we rat fit enter our house. Make we block am. Don't forget say division of the universal health coverage. That to see say everybody they can pay. Our God President Muhammad Buhari want everybody make we stand gidigba. Yama no good for us, so it invite rat. Sweat where they come up from person wey get Lassa fever. Fit transfer the disease from one person to another. If you suspect any fever, we don't treat it with better medicine and you no go quick, or you suspect any person wey get Lassa fever, make you rush go any health facilities where they near you. Lassa fever must go. Now all of now go give am red card. Now Federal Ministry of Health bring on this message.
You're welcome back, and we begin with a focus on the education sector, where the private participation in education has received a boost, with Bayes University Abuja securing approval from the National Universities Commission to run 8 more programs with 2 specialties in health. Pro-Chancellor of the university, Dr. Yusuf Detti Baba Ahmed, says the university is set to construct a teaching hospital to take the university to the next level. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has the details.
Bayes University started academic activities in 2011 with 17 students in 3 programs.
Young private tertiary institution in the nation's capital, with its motto, Learn to Live, is believed to be waxing stronger in less than a decade of its establishment. Rising from the management meeting, Pro-Chancellor of the University, Dr. Detti Baba Ahmed, says in its quest to become one of the world-class universities within a shortest time frame, already 22 programs are being run in the university, with additional 8 new programs. He says, apart from the 2 in the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Faculty of Environmental Sciences will now have BSc in Architecture, Urban and Regional Planning, Estate Management, Building, Surveying and Geoinformation, and Quantity Surveying.
The doors are now open for admitting suitably qualified candidates into the respective programs. But a teaching hospital can stand as an institution in its own right. So it's like having another license for another institution. This is only second to obtaining the university license, to show you how important it is.
With a teaching hospital soon to be in place, the Pro-Chancellor says the university will be able to obtain other approvals for clinical and health services from the National Universities Commission. The university now has more than 1,500 student population and has so far graduated 550 students. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
The National Heart Commission is seeking media collaboration to effectively execute its reform agenda that will see to the safety, security and affordable accommodation of intending pilgrims. Chairman of the Commission, Abdullahi Mukhtar, stated this while on a courtesy visit to Daily Trust, Leadership and Blueprint newspapers in Abuja. Eliasu Ali Yakubu completes the report.
The partnership also seeks to achieve education and orientation for intending pilgrims on the performance of Hajj for a successful and acceptable Hajj operations. While briefing the management of the media organizations visited, the Commission's chairman said one of the reforms achieved was the reduction of high cost of accommodation, which were hitherto handled by middlemen in Saudi Arabia. He said The disengagement of the middlemen, among other reforms, indicate that there will no longer be uniform Hajj fare, as it will vary from state to state, depending on the peculiarity of the state. The chairman reaffirmed the commitment of the Commission to protect the interests and welfare of intending pilgrims.
Highlight some of the major reform the Commission is embarking upon, which is in the interest of the ordinary pilgrim and also in the interest of our country. We are optimistic that we are beginning the 2017 Hajj operation plan on a very good footing.
Heads of the media organizations visited thanked the Hajj Commission for the visit and promised to render all the necessary support needed.
We can deliver audiences in English and in Hausa, offline and online.
Youth education is very, very important. You know, right from here to the Holy Land.
The 2016 Hajj operations recorded 95% compliance on airlift of pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
We've still got a bit on sports right after these messages. Stay with us.
We rise. We unite. We create. We are passion. We are belief. We are fire in our hearts. We are made of black.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels, welcome to life.
We unite. We defy. We hope. We dream. We play. We are fire in our hearts. We are made of black.
Nigerian judo coaches for training in Zambia as Paris insists on its bid for hosting Olympics in 2024 only. Amazi Marcus has more.
18 judo coaches from Nigeria will in May depart for Zambia for a 2-week capacity building program. National judo coach Bashir Basi, who spoke with NTA Sports in Abuja, said the coaches were selected from an online coaching course run by the International Judo Federation Coaches Academy.
In the past, we've had something like that, but not more than 2 people had been sponsored by the International Federation. About 30 to 40 coaches applied and sat for it, but at the end of the day, about 18 of them were successful. We decided that to get it right, we must have to start from the grassroots, hence the championship next month for the cadets and juniors.
18 universities are to compete in Zone A of the Nigeria University Games preliminaries, holding from April 2 to 8 at Federal University, Dutse, Jigawa State. 12 sporting events will be competed for, and qualifiers will compete at the April 19 to 30 Nigeria University Games at the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State. Paris has told the International Olympic Committee that it was now or never for its bid to host the 2024 Games, ruling out staging the Olympics in 2028. The bid committee for the French capital threatened to block any plan to award the 2024 and 2028 editions of the IOC's flagship event to Paris and Los Angeles unless they take place in that order. Paris drew a line in the sand after IOC President Thomas Bach gave the clearest indication yet that the contest for the 2024 Games will effectively be scrapped, with one of the two remaining bidders granted the 2028 edition of the Olympics. With Sports Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Next is a quick check on the weather prospects for tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. I am Susan Opara. Observation shows increase in temperature values across major cities within the country, and with available moisture depth in the atmosphere, the coastal belt shows more prospects for convective activities in the next 24 hours. And for Thursday weather forecast, there are chances for increased cloudiness over the southern cities up to the central cities, and this may likely give rise to localized thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours to affect parts of the Calabar, Port Harcourt, Owerri, and its environs. It may also extend to some parts of the hilly areas of the central cities in the afternoon and evening hours. The northern cities are expected to be sunny and hazy throughout the forecast period, except areas around Yelwa axis, where thundery activities may not be ruled out throughout the forecast period. And that's our bit from here. Please stand by for temperature details.
And before we go, a reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. And this is where we draw the curtain on the program tonight. We thank you for joining us. See you again same time next week. Have a good night.